It was a dark and stormy night, and I was driving home from a long day at work. The rain was coming down in sheets, making it difficult to see the road ahead. As I drove through the woods, I noticed a figure standing by the side of the road. At first I thought it was just a tree stump, but as I got closer I realized it was a person. I slowed down and rolled down my window. I asked, "Are you okay?" I asked. The figure didn't answer. It just stood there, staring blankly ahead. I started to feel uneasy and decided to drive my car, but when I put my foot on the gas, the shape suddenly lunged towards my car. I swerved to avoid it, but it was too late. The figure crashed into my windshield, shattering it and knocking me off the road. I blacked out for a moment, and when I came to, I was upside down in a ditch. As I tried to unbuckle my seatbelt, I realized that my left arm was broken. I screamed in pain and panic, but there was no one around to hear me. I tried to crawl out of the car, but my broken arm made that impossible. That's when I heard it. A low, guttural growl coming from outside the car. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I tried to look out through the broken windshield, but I couldn't see anything in the darkness. Then I heard footsteps. Heavy, dragging footsteps that seemed to be getting closer. I could feel my heart racing faster and faster. I knew I had to get out of there, but I was trapped. Suddenly, the driver's side door was ripped off its hinges, and a figure loomed over me. It was the same figure I'd seen on the side of the road, but now, up close, I could see that it wasn't human. It was covered in matted fur, with glowing yellow eyes and razor-sharp teeth. It snarled at me, drool dripping from its jaws. I screamed, but it didn't seem to deter the creature. It reached in with one of its massive paws and grabbed my good arm, pulling me out of the car. I cried out in agony as it dragged me through the mud and into the woods. The creature led me to a small, dilapidated hut deep in the forest. Inside, I could see human remains strewn on the floor. It was clear that I was not the first victim of this monster. I was thrown into a small, damp cell and left there to rot. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. I fed on parts of the creature that I knew came from the remains of its other victims. I tried to escape, but the creature was always one step ahead of me. It seemed to know my every move before I made it. I was trapped and had no hope of escape. As time passed, the creature began to do terrible things to me. It whispered threats in my ear and laughed while I cried. But the worst part was the transformation. Slowly but surely, I could feel myself changing. My skin was growing rough and scaly, and my teeth were sharpening. I knew that soon. I would become like the creature that had taken me captive. One night, as the creature slept, I managed to slip out of my cell. I crept through the cabin, searching for anything that could help me escape. I stumbled upon a small knife lying on a table, and I knew this was my chance. I grabbed the knife and made my way towards the door, trying to be as quiet as possible. But as I reached for the doorknob, I heard the creature stir. It woke up and let out a blood-curdling howl. I knew I had to act fast. I burst through the door and ran as fast as I could into the woods. The creature was hot on my heels, but I managed to stay ahead of it. I could hear its angry growls and snarls behind me, but I didn't dare look back. I just ran. As I stumbled through the woods, I could feel myself changing even more. My senses were heightened, and I could feel the predator inside me awakening. I reached a clearing and turned to face the creature. It was towering over me, its eyes glowing in the darkness. I raised the knife, ready to fight for my life, but before I could make a move, the creature suddenly turned and ran away. I stood there in shock, watching as it disappeared into the darkness. I was free, but at what cost? I was no longer human. I was a monster, just like the creature that had held me captive. I made my way back to civilization, but I couldn't face anyone. I was afraid of what I had become. I lived the rest of my life in solitude, hiding my true nature from the world. But every full moon, I would transform into the creature that had haunted my nightmares for so long. And I knew that one day someone else would suffer the same fate as me. If you like my story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video for more and similar stories. See you.